What's going on, moviegoers all over the world? My name is Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And I'm Steady, back from the countdown to the Geekcast to talk more Game of Thrones.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Game of Thrones, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is it. It's finally here. It's happened. The Battle of Winterfell.
Ooh, the long night.
Yeah, the long night.
That's what they finally called the episode, the long night.
Yep.
Everybody was like, Battle of Winterfell. Nope, HBO said the long night. Sorry, guys.
You want to know why it was a long night? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be listing a couple facts here. 11 weeks to film this episode.
That's ridiculous.
That is insane.
All night shoots.
From
all
like
night.
6 p.m. to like
5
a.m.
in the morning. Oh, God, that's crazy.
More power to them because we enjoyed the hell out of it. So.
Yeah. All right, so I mean, let's get right to it, guys. Our review of Game of Thrones, ladies and gentlemen. Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 3. Right? 3?
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
3.
Right? Okay, 3. Oh, so I'm like, wait.
Wait, what?
It didn't seem right. It didn't sound right. But, I mean, everything's chaotic right now. I mean, dude, so Winterfell, man. It's been through wow, just obviously after this catastrophe, after everything, the suspense, we've been anticipating this battle since season 1, since the very first episode you mentioned on our last
since the pilot, man.
Yeah, since the pilot.
We've seen the White Walkers, and now it's finally, you know, the men, no offense to women, but just mankind
Right.
in full force as much as they can get against the Night King and his huge army.
Yes. So much anticipation writing this. I mean, even the writers themselves, they say, you know, this is it. I mean, it's finally here. You know, the battle's finally here, and between the living and the dead. And man, okay, so let's go ahead and talk about it. I mean, straight up the bat. I mean, we just, the Dothraki.
So I like that whole sequence. I liked how, because you got to remember, on the battlefield, maybe only 10 people have ever seen White Walkers. Most of the people have probably never even believed in them because they were thought to have not existed. So I liked how the Dothraki, they're totally this legendary unhinged army.
Yeah,
and
aggressive.
how they just get decimated in a couple minutes. I think that sends everyone into just shock. I loved it. I loved it.
I hated how they went out. Like, they shouldn't have gone out. I feel like they should have just waited with Jar. Like, I feel like they should just waited for them to come, for the dead to come to them. And
it's a bad plan.
Yeah.
But as far as entertainment value goes, it's freaking amazing.
Yes, it is.
To see, I mean, so you just right off the bat, we know the Dothraki to be the most aggressive fighters out there that seem to just do anything and everything, no matter what. I mean, we've seen them battle so many times to fight, against Jaime Lannister, and we've seen the way, the thunder, the roar, everything what they brought into it, and now to see them coming back from, obviously they failed.
A few survivors.
They were just running away. That says a lot. I mean, the Unsullied.
I'm just glad that we had a few survivors in that first wave that we wanted to stick around, at least for a while. They didn't all make it to the end of the episode, but extremely effective, powerful as hell, and all due to Melisandre showing that she's, she's still valuable to the rest of this.
I was surprised.
Jon Snow and the army. So
I was surprised to see her. I really was. I mean, at first I was just like, "What the heck was she doing there?"
I knew she would come back because she's been warning us about this for years.
Yeah. Plus, she's always told us she's had a purpose.
The Lord of Light.
There you go.
The Lord of Light. She always had a purpose and everything.
And if this wasn't it, what could it be? What else could it be?
No, exactly.
No idea.
Exactly. So, man, so we did. How creeped out were you, or what did you get goosebumps whenever you just saw the lights, all the Dothraki's fires going out little by little? They just went.
Even before that, the reaction of the first line of the Dothraki when you finally see the illuminated faces of the whites that were in the front, and it's not just like a few of them. It's like they're falling over each other like a tidal wave. And so I didn't get freaked out. I cheered. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm actually a hardcore scary movie, zombie lover. Video games, movies. Yeah. So anytime Game of Thrones wants to throw their version of zombies at us, the whites, they do it so well. And these aren't regular zombies. These zombies have a little bit of awareness. They wield weapons. Yeah. They follow the strategy of the Night King and the other generals, whatever they are, the White Walkers. Yeah. So anytime they're on screen, I'm loving every single second of it.
I mean, just the anticipation, and then after that, I mean, we just see them coming back, Jorah coming back, and they're just like, it's just insane. And we're gonna talk about what a lot of critics are saying about this battle is that it was hard to see, and it's affecting their review of this. And it just I have to look at both. We look at both sides of it. Yes, it is very hard to see. It was. I mean, for you, was it hard to see?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not at all. Yeah. I'm not like trying to brag. My TV is like a LED.
Yeah.
And I normally have it in a format that the screen is a little bit brighter than normal to begin with. So never complained, never missed a swing of a sword or anything from start to finish. So do you guys have that same problem? You were good?
No. We watched it at night with obviously everything dark.
At first, there wasn't dark because there was a light, so the light was getting, how you say, the glare.
Yeah.
It was getting a little glare, so I was all like, oh, let's trump the light. As soon as we trumped the light, though, it got a lot better, and I was like, okay.
But for me, I feel like it was more effective that way. It wouldn't have been believable if it was completely lit where we could see everything, because on the battlefield, they couldn't see everything.
Yeah, and then also it did shed us on that line and that point of view of we're witnessing the battle as if Jon Snow or any people at Winterfell, because they couldn't see. Because at the same time though, it was hard to see, especially them coming. The winter storm was coming. I mean, it was hard to see. I mean, that's probably why they got the best of them. They got the best of most of them, and man, it was just chaotic. I mean, it's right off the bat. Were you screaming? I was screaming.
I was cheering. I was cheering like crazy, and I was screaming. I was jumping up and down, and I was extremely excited. It was a thrilling episode, and I didn't ever complain about how it looked. And what's funny is my wife was rewatching the series for the first time, and she's on season 6 after the Battle of the Bastards episode. And Jon says something that I'm like, oh, cool, that kind of makes more sense now. He says to the leaders of the North that they're worried about the other enemies to the south, and he says, you don't need to worry about them. They don't have armies. Or he's talking about the Night King. He says there's another threat you guys need to focus on, and they have an army that won't wait out the storm. They are the storm. And we got a literal storm in this episode. Yes. Like, hey, that's awesome.
I like that.
No, they brought the storm.
They
brought everything.
Really did.
Yeah, the Night King brought everything he had, and it was wow. So I mean, them colliding with them, that was insane, because even even Bran and not Bran. I'm sorry, Brienne. I mean, she right when they're coming, she's all like screaming, "Hold your ground! Hold your ground!" Like, I'm just like,
it was crazy.
It was insane, but
that scene where we first see them, everyone sees them, but the main line sees them.
Yeah, it was insane how many zombies there were. Like, it was just overpowering each other. Like, there was just one on top of the other. It was too insane. I was like, how do you fight these things?
I think it would have been less dramatic if we see one clear-cut wave of zombies. I think the piling on top chaos just perfectly sums up what the Army of the Dead is.
It reminded me of World War Z a lot. It really did. Sure. Yeah, it really did. And obviously in winter, but so we do get that. I mean, Jaime just protects her right away, goes to her rescue. She's screaming her life away.
They help each other.
Yes,
I mean, back and forth all night long.
How many did for 1 second did any of you think that that someone was gonna die? Obviously, that before. They didn't, going into it, like, I mean, during the action sequences, did you think, oh my god, Jaime's about to die, or like at this, or like whenever, because every single character got so close to death. I mean, let's be honest, every single character did, and Game of Thrones is known to put those characters in those circumstances and just toss them out, like just have a good heroic death, and they've always been doing that when it comes to situations like this.
I'm really glad that we don't have normal zombie rules with these whites, because if you get bit by a zombie, you're pretty much toast, depending on what franchise you're watching. It could take a day, it could take a few minutes or a few seconds. These whites, they could stab you, cut you a few times, and you're going to be okay until you actually fall in battle. So there was like a dozen times where we see Brienne, Sam, a lot of people get just tackled to the ground, and so I'm like over here still with zombie themes or rules in my head, like, oh my god, don't bite them. I'm like, they're fine. So a lot of them came back. Ghost was the first one. I'm like, where's Where's Ghost?
Yeah,
Where's
exactly.
Ghost, man?
Exactly. And we don't get this answer to the end, to the end of the previews for the next episode, really. Yeah. I mean, we don't get an explanation. Maybe we'll get it in the next episode. But so let's go right to it, guys. I mean, so who was the first death, ladies and gentlemen? I mean,
notable death, because there's a lot of people who died before the first notable
Knights
death.
of the Veil. I mean,
I would gotta say probably Ed. I did.
Yeah. Of the Night's Watch.
It threw me for a loop. I did not suspect him. I mean, we obviously knew he was in the forefront, like front lines. He was there, but it just that shocked me.
Yeah. So Sam's actually he gets knocked down and he almost gets killed, but then he saves him, and then right after he saves him, he just gets stabbed right in the back of the head. That was crazy. I was just like, dang.
Poor Sam, man. Yeah. Sam's seen a lot of people die like really up close,
Yeah, he saw Pip.
I'm so surprised that Sam survived though. I'm just like, dude, this guy he can't even wield his own family sword, and yet like it's just
he's not completely useless. He may not be as combat trained as John, but like he had a little kind of tough like where he's like, well, everyone forgets everyone forgets that I killed the first White Walker.
Yeah, that's what he said in the last episode.
I battled here, and I stole a bunch of books. I know I was the one who kind of like figured it out. So I agree with him. I don't think he's completely useless, but I was super happy that he survived.
I'm never worried about Sam, because if you are one of those fans that think that he's sort of the person, the historian that's going to record all of these events and become the quote unquote narrator of this story, then he's gonna make it till the end and put this whole book together.
Exactly. So I mean, the way the corner graph, I mean, just everything from behind the scenes, and when it comes down to it, so the flaming, we found out the flaming was real. So obviously the flame, just the trench, forefront,
the trench. Then the behind the scenes thing, which you couldn't access right now, but it was completely real, and those wooden stakes are actually steel.
Yeah, it was very interesting how
propane tanks hooked up and
complicated
everything.
It all was, but they made it look gorgeous.
Yes. I mean, it took a lot of work. Obviously, 11 weeks nonstop filming overnight. I mean, just for the actors and the actresses, for everyone to get into place. You're half asleep. You have to change your sleeping schedule, and
I've worked nights before. Ooh, crazy.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. But it's like 12-hour days every day.
Oh yes,
and it's not just normal weather conditions. They're in sub-zero.
It was negative 14 degrees.
Yeah.
Amelia Clark said it herself. Like,
she was like, it's too cold to snow.
It's too cold to snow. Like, it's freezing. Yeah.
That's beyond hazardous conditions.
Right.
Like,
and yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty. I would think it's pretty cold to ride a dragon around those temperatures. I would think. So obviously we do get Jon Snow and Dany. They are actually out watching this battle come into sequence, and to see the Dothraki just disappear, their flaming disappear. That's when they get on their dragons, and that's when they go out into
kind of like improvise.
Yeah, improvise
to go directly after the Night King.
Exactly. And then when the zombies come, obviously they take a first fight attack. Dany does. She gets to fire all over the place, straight line, straight across, and lights up everything, because it's so dark, man. I mean, it's dark to see. I can only imagine, like, just for every single warrior out there, it's so dark to see. And the dead, all they care about is just killing you. They could see you like nothing. Like, they could see you as clear as day. Yeah. And that's why they had the advantage, I guess you could say, over them. I would say over the living.
I loved all the sequences with the dragons flying, because they did a lot of really interesting things, especially not anticipating the storm showing up and making the entire sort of playing field level for the Night King. It's no longer 2-on-1. He can actually see and move his way around up in the sky. So it became really interesting when Dany and Jon are running into each other, not knowing where the Night King is. So that added another layer of like excitement and intrigue to the whole thing.
Man, that sequence alone, I mean, everything was just crazy. I mean, nonstop. I mean, I'll be honest, I was screaming the whole time, just like, what the heck is going on?
There was a point where he had to like get up off the couch and kind of squat in front of the TV.
Like, I was just like,
super on edge.
I couldn't sit down. I had an adrenaline rush. I literally couldn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep at all. Like, it was just adrenaline rush. Like, had to re-go into it. I'm just like, okay.
So we watched it, and then immediately, like 10 minutes after, we watched the whole thing.
It was intense. To
reprocess what happened, because it really is a lot of information that is presented in such a small time.
Oh yeah,
exactly. And then so, I guess you could say, so like what I'm gonna mention though too, what I did love was how they went into the actual Winterfell, like how they built, because obviously how they infiltrated and everything. I mean, when that came down to it, obviously Grey Worm had to make a choice. He had to make a choice to cut that bridge or that between, you know, to create the fire
for the trench.
The trench, yeah. And he caught them. He told them retreat, and they didn't.
So I think
I don't remember that.
He said retreat.
He said retreat.
He said protect the retreat.
No, that was the beginning.
But then after he said retreat,
protect the retreat.
Some of them did. Some of them did retreat. But there was still a lot of Unsullied that were holding their position.
That was like, I mean, just we'll talk about it at the very end. But like, it just
was crazy.
A lot of death. Like, I was just like, he had a choice to make. Either, I mean, it comes down to it because you have an adrenaline rush. I mean, everything you trying to figure out, make sure the plan goes smoothly because they all have a game plan.
He had to make an executive decision.
Yes, and he had to, and he cut them off, and that was it. They weren't gonna be able to come back. Man, the crazy thing is that it got so dark, and it got to that winter storm that Dany couldn't see the signal, because remember even. He was trying to signal them.
Sir Davos?
Yeah, Sir Davos was trying to signal them, and they were like, "Oh crap, she can't see us.
Nope.
There's no way she could see us." So therefore, the game plan's changed.
Everything's changed.
Yeah, everything's changed. And to see the Lord of Light, she actually, she came in and actually lit it up at the very last second. That was crazy.
It was really cool. I guess the Lord of Light likes drama because he made her and made all of us wait.
Right, at the very last second, and the flame came and everything. So obviously it flames around in a circle around Winterfell, and wow, I mean, the way it lit up, you can actually see a lot more of the battlefield, a lot more of how many death was really there, how much really zombies were there,
how massive this army was.
Yeah, and then to see them, I was all like, "Oh wait, I bet you they're gonna throw each other." Like, I was surprised. I was like, "Wait, why are they scared of fire all of a sudden when they could just throw each other on each other, like get on each other and just go out after it?"
I don't think they were scared. I think it kind of brings back to season 7 where they're at that lake, and then a couple of them stepped out into the water and it broke, so they're just waiting for it. So I don't think it was necessarily they were scared. They were just waiting for what to do next, and then the Night King kind of gave them a decision or told them what to do.
It's all about strategy with the Night King.
I mean, just told them what to do, get on top of each other, and then that's when they start colliding. And that's when I knew too. I was like, man, it's like World War Z. They're gonna start colliding on top of each other, go over the bridge. To go over the castle.
The castle walls.
Yeah, the castle walls. And man, that was crazy. I mean, I was like, man, they're gonna get tired because if they keep coming. You know, the death is coming.
Yeah, they don't stop.
Yeah, they don't stop. And the living just get tired swinging that sword over and over and over.
Super exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that sword, it doesn't. I mean, it weighs pretty heavy, you know. I mean, to wield that sword, and you know, so we do go into that scene where you know they're trying to defend everything. Man on the walls. I kept screaming it over and over.
And I'm like, why didn't they do that already? Like, you're in the walls. Get on the top of the walls now. Why do we need to tell you? When you get that should have been the plan from the get go.
And then they do open the gates, letting everyone in, and of course we do get. Is one of the House Mormonts. We do get her and
Lyanna.
Oh man,
Lyanna, the little bear.
Lyanna. So we're gonna go ahead and give a little backstory of Lyanna. Lyanna's actually, when the writers actually first started doing this, guys, they actually just wanted her to do one episode.
Yeah,
she was hired on to do one scene, and the way the presence that she gave as an actress, as a presence alone of herself, the way she portrayed it, they were all like, no, she needs more. There's more development, and they were all like, oh, if we're not, you know, it's not Game of Thrones if she has this presence and everyone's gonna feel this presence watching it at their TV at their house, that they're gonna feel this and care for this character. So they're all like, you know,
I think everyone
develop her.
Everyone loved her after that first scene, even though it was super short and she only had interaction with like 3 characters. Yeah, everyone was like, "Who is this girl?" And when can we see more of her?
Yes,
she's so entertaining.
She was, and you know, sadly, she did die, but
in the most epic way.
Yes,
pretty much
epic way ever. So actually, go behind the scenes again. So the giant, not obviously being like. We're saying he's real, but in a camera point of view, he is real, and the way they brought it up. And so he picked up his green. What was it? A green.
Yeah. So they had an actor. He was. I don't remember tall. His name. He was like 7 foot something.
Yeah, I think he was 7'5".
Yeah, and they dressed him up in complete makeup, and they had him kind of go through the motion where they had like a little doll, that green screen doll, to mimic Liana.
Yeah.
So he's doing his part in filming, and then she's doing a separate scene where she's in the hand, and she's doing her acting, and they kind of merge the two together with the special effects.
And it looks phenomenal. And she goes out with the bam. She goes out taking that big old giant with her, man, taking it with her to hell.
Although I would have loved to see when we obviously get that little glimpse where she opens her eyes when she's resummoned.
Oh man,
I would have loved to have seen her take out living people as the dead. I would have loved to see that.
Okay, so when she gets hit, I'm just like, oh crap. At first I thought she died. I was like, oh man, is she dead or whatever? And then she came back like with all blood, still fighting with her life away. And she does fight with her life away. She takes it down with her. And it just, that Mormont, House Mormont, Gerald told, he told her he was just like, you need to stay in the crib.
Yeah.
Because you're the
last of our house.
You're the last of our house. And it's sad to say though, House Mormont is pretty much destroyed, right? I would say.
Yeah, they're done.
It's gone. Yeah, they're gone.
So many houses have died.
Yeah, so many houses. So we're going into that scene again. So what I did love was the castle scene. So they actually go into Winterfell, and you could just see that scene, of course, where Arya and Davos is watching Arya beat the living crap out of the dead like crazy. At the same time, just like maybe he's too scared, or maybe he's just like, oh, she's got this.
He's also said in previous seasons that he's not good at swinging a sword to begin with.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to embarrass anybody by watching him. I just loved watching Arya.
She's like, I think he's more like, she's got this. Like, I think so.
Yeah, and going into that, so the Hound, man, he gets so scared and terrified of the fire, I would say, or just the dead in general. He's just like, we're screwed up, we're effed, and I'm not gonna fight, like it's already over. And at the same time, it's just like he points. Who points out Arya? It's
Beric.
There you go. So Beric points out, tell her that, and then that's when he sees Arya in trouble, and then that's when he goes to the rescue. Him and Eric. Beric. I'm sorry. Beric. Yeah, and so that sequence, the way the camera's going though, I love that camera angle.
Oh yeah.
The way it's going through, Winterfell and the walls and everything. I love how they created that. Obviously it's not real stone, but man, it looks real as hell. Like it looks real. Like it looks like it's a real place. Obviously,
it was fantastic. Yeah. All the action scenes with Arya, she got a lot to do in this episode.
Yeah.
Even the first move she did, where she jumps down the stairwell and rolls across the top of the whites down the staircase. I'm like, oh my god, I've not seen that in anything before. So no, she got a lot to do, and so I loved every second that she was on screen.
Yeah, that was awesome. Just seeing her, just the way, how far she's come from since the very first episode we saw her in. She's come a very, very long way. And and she's able to defend herself no matter what.
We do see a little bit. I think the producers and writers touch on this on the inside of the episode, where there's a part where when she hits her head, she kind of reverts back into survival mode. So she's no longer calm and collected and this stealthy assassin we've come to know who she is, but she kind of reverts back into a little bit more scared, how she was in season 1, where she was just learning. And I actually really liked that. I liked how we saw that because
she's fighting for her life.
Change in that sequence.
Well, she does get knocked out when she does get hit though. She loses her weapons, so she's freaking out because she's trying to get, but it's too late to get them. And then of course we do go to that scene in the library in Winterfell. And that scene was pretty.
Again, I'm a horror movie fan, so if you put any of these scary movie elements into this episode or any Game of Thrones episode, I'm digging all of it. And somebody on social media said, I don't understand why these whites are acting this way, sort of searching around and looking for her under tables. I'm like, well, they're not zombies. They have a certain level of awareness, and they wield weapons and they follow commands. So they're not your regular average brain dead zombies. Are actually going out responding to noises and things like that. So they did it extremely well.
And I'll say this too, it does give us a different point of view on the zombies, of how their how their awareness was and everything, because it did shed us on that light and how attracted they were to noise or to any little single movement. And Arya's, of course, is great at being quiet during moving and everything. Yeah, stealth.
She's a ninja.
Yeah. And so into rescuing Arya, of course, we do get sadly the death And the thing is that even she said, what's her name, the Melisandre, even she said it, like he served his purpose.
That was his whole reason for living,
to save
That's why
Arya.
He was brought back by the Lord of Light so many times.
He got stabbed though on both thighs and he was still moving. I was like, dang, I was like, this guy, man, he's still going. He's wanted
took a lot to take him down.
It took a lot to take him down. And when he first throws his sword though, I'm just like, oh man, and then he can't get it back, and I was like, oh no, this is it, he's gonna be gone, like because he threw his sword like that. I was like,
but one could argue that was the whole purpose. Like if he hadn't thrown the sword, maybe she wouldn't have survived. Which defeats the whole purpose.
I got you. And the Hound was just there protecting her, trying to save her, and of course we do get that famous quote. And what is that famous quote, ladies and gentlemen? That Melisandre tells her. And
what do we tell death? Not today.
Not today. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. That was awesome. I love
that little nod from the first season. I feel like that's the snapping point. Like she snaps back into her old self. Renewed purpose. She knows what she has to do.
What's great is when Melisandre said that, I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? You're gonna run away like Syrio Forel told you to run away?
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't that. She was going out to take out the king.
And of course we do get going into the scene where Bran and Theon Greyjoy. He's actually, it's funny because the way Theon Greyjoy is pretty much like, he's just like, I owe Bran everything. Like, I feel so, I have to protect him. Guilty. I feel guilt and everything. And then it was funny because at the very, not the very end towards the episode, but at the very end of that conversation they had, Bran's like, I'll be right back. I was like, what the heck? Where's he going? That was pretty funny. And to see the crows go out, and we do see the Night King on the dragon.
Time.
On the dragon. So
that makes me wonder, was he looking and like overlooking the battle the entire time, or was he? Could he have been?
Fans are speculating. I don't think we're gonna get an answer. It's not something that I think they want to get across.
To be honest, it looked like he was still on the way. I don't know why. It seemed like he was still on the way towards there. He was like, "Oh, my generals are there," like and they'll control him and everything. But it still seemed he was on the way. And obviously, when he came in aggressively and everything. We do get the dragon fight scene, which was pretty damn good.
Loved it,
I would say. And they went higher up because I even was I was screaming at my television almost like it's a Spurs game. Sadly, almost like it's a Spurs game. Hands up! But when I was just like, dragons, go up! Like, you need to get out of that storm and go all the way up to the sky. And of course they do that, and the Night King follows him right there, throwing that blue fire like crazy, and he just appears.
But he's not only doing that, but he's using the storm as like a protective layer. Like he comes out, emerges, does his little bit of where he attacks and back reverts back into the storm.
That was crazy. I was like, dang, you don't even know where he's at. Like Danny and
using that to his advantage, which I think is pretty awesome.
Oh man, that was insane. And then of course we do get at the very end. So like at the end of that scene, Jon Snow ends up being on the ground. And so I guess we could go ahead and touch up on that on that scene. So he ends up attacking, right, the Night King, he ends up attacking the Night King first, and the Night King falls. No, Dany hits the Night King, gets the Night King out of the dragon, and then that's when Jon Snow ends up falling down into the battle scene. And then that's when he's after him. And Jon Snow feels it, and I'm pretty sure we're feeling it too. It's like, man, Jon Snow could take him out, and he's
but
very
I feel
athletic.
Like the episode kind of pointed it like that was like the scene, like that was meant to throw fans off, the scene where they finally confront each other, and Jon faces off, and he's gonna be the one to kill the Night King.
But right after that, right before Jon Snow's looking at him, right there is Dany. And at the same time, we don't know if it's going to work or not. Dany doesn't even know it's going to work or not. And they had that same question. The last episode was, is fire going to kill the Night King? And obviously it did not.
Nope, not even close.
Yeah, not even close. He just smirked.
Made him smile.
He smirked. I was like,
feel
dude.
like it's not surprising because we do see in season 7 where he steps through the fire with no problem.
Well,
So
Dragonfire is different though.
Yeah.
Dragonfire is meant to be different.
I would say it's more aggressive. It's more towards you. That one's just like burning up and down. Like,
but it was like full. I don't know. It didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It shocked me. I was like, oh my god, he survived. But I was like thinking about it. You know what? That doesn't.
But he didn't even take a cut. Like it was. He didn't get affected by it whatsoever. I'm just like, okay, wait. Isn't he supposed to be like Olaf and melt? Like, come on.
No, I guess he's too powerful, so that
Unfazed.
even dragon fire doesn't hurt him. So the options are left of what can affect him, what can kill him.
Yeah, so we do, and then right after that scene, I mean, just Jon Snow's chasing after him, and he just raises his hand. I'm just like, oh my god, Jon Snow, you better hurry up. Jon Snow, you better hurry up. And before you know it, it's too late. Jon Snow's not there in time, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, Jon Snow's, like, at the same time, just in the back of my head, I'm just like, it's over. Jon Snow's gonna die.
Yeah, he was surrounded. Yeah, dude, I'm like, he's not getting out of that.
Yeah, there's no way.
360.
He always gets out of that, though.
Somehow, right? I mean, his uncle saved him the first time that he was around that, in a circle like that, and, you know.
Fell to the bottom of a frozen lake.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? About how you see all of these horde of White Walkers surrounding him, but he somehow survives. How do you feel about that?
It's okay.
It's the Lord of Light, I would say. The Lord of Light really, it protects him, and it's his destiny, I would say.
It's curious. I don't know what Jon's destiny is anymore, because we thought his destiny would be, more impactful at the end of this episode, and it really wasn't.
Yeah. I guess you could say, like, it's just, and that's the funny thing too. Well, we're looking at a writer's perspective. Maybe even the writers and the creators of this even thought, like, oh, everyone's gonna think Jon Snow is gonna be the lead on this. No, it ain't gonna be Jon Snow. That's the main lead of this episode.
The whole series, Jon Snow has been slanted as a character of, like, heroism. Like, he is the savior. He's the one that's gonna make everything right. He's the one that's gonna come out okay. Yeah. So I kind of liked that he was, for one, in that trouble. And for two, he wasn't the one to ultimately end up killing.
I feel like he was on the sidelines more with this one, and Arya got a lot more screen time, and a lot more screen time between her battle sequences, because we never really seen her go full on, crazy battle, at least that length.
Well, we've seen her assassinate people. Yeah, I don't think we've seen her in battle.
No, we've never seen her battle, and to show that, the writers, directors, they all knew, like, you are gonna see Arya fight on, and she's never been on a full-on battle, I guess you could say. We've seen Jon Snow battle, the gruesome battle that that took to get Winterfell, and of course the Knights of the Vale rescued him, but just going into that, it was just brutal, man. And so obviously the Night King is going into Winterfell, and we do get Lyanna rising from the dead, and that was pretty crazy.
Lyanna, we see that main Dothraki guy. We see Ed.
To know that, to see that, and even Jon Snow knew at the back of his mind, I'm sure of it, is that we are effed. Like we are, because we are there. He's using our own people against us. Yeah,
I think that was the turning point. That was the turning point. I feel like we see everything kind of snowball into a worse effect. So people are backed up into corners. People are being killed off, and then it's just so exhausting. It's wearing people down, and at the point where you think it can't get much worse, he raises the dead, and all of these people, all of the Knights of the Vale, the Dothraki, all of the soldiers, the Unsullied, all of them are just raised simultaneously, and for the survivors to just witness that is just incredible.
And at the same time, though, because you got to remember, like, Jaime Lannister and all of them that are fighting inside, Sam and everybody, they're all like, oh, we're halfway, like, it looked like it was a calm. But then small calm, and then out of nowhere they just saw everyone, even Tormund. Tormund even saw, like, they were all in there, like, watching, like, them rise from the grave, and that was insane. Oh my god! At the same time, though, we do get the crypt scene, and of course it just that. You called it. I know you. It just like. The Starks, they're coming back to life.
I'm glad it happened. We didn't see anyone that we actually recognized, though. So a little bit different, but everybody was talking about it. So I'm glad it happened.
Yes,
it was cool to see that
crypt scene, and
Well, the only thing that bothered me about that was they were preparing for the worst. Everyone was thinking they were going to die, but my problem was, why didn't they staff like a soldier or two in the crypt to protect them, just in case the walls are breached?
Well, they had Tyrion,
but he wasn't. He wasn't equipped. They put him down there because Daenerys needed him to be protected. Yeah, but he wasn't the protector.
No.
That was my only problem. Was why didn't they have one or two soldiers in there to protect all of those unsuspecting people in case a breach happens? Because if it does, there's nowhere to go. Does the breach have does the crypt have another entrance or? back exit or anything?
I guess not, because they really thought it was safe. They told us over and over again in the previous episode that it's going to be safe down there.
Yeah, it's going to be safe in the crypt.
And it blows my mind how no one thought of, if a breach happens, we're just basically confining everyone to a certified death.
And they were dying off like crazy. I mean, they were just attacking because they were just defenseless.
No one had weapons.
And going into that scene, we do get Tyrion there. I mean, just wow! Like, we do see that one scene that I really did love, because it's set up and the music and everything during that scene between it's Tyrion in one side of the crypt, and it's oh my god, what's her name? Sansa. And like during that scene, you just hear the music, like they're gonna go out and they're just holding the knives, the dragon glass. I'm just like, a lot of people got mixed things out of that. So I've been hearing that people got mixed things, saying like they thought they were gonna kill themselves. And there was another one saying, because that's the one I was assuming. I thought they were going to go out fighting and then they were going to die. Like, I was just like, okay, maybe they're going to go out dying, fighting. Because that scene where it was just soft music. Like, it's almost like, just like, okay, this is it. Calm before the storm. We're about to go out with the bang, and because they were all like, even Tyrion's face, he just started drinking more and more, like when Sansa went down there.
I got a different take. I could tell. I didn't think they would kill themselves. I think it wouldn't make sense in that situation. But I felt like they were going to go out with a purpose. They were going to go out defending whoever's left in the crypt. And I actually really liked that sequence where they had the music.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That was my favorite
music,
climatic. Perfect sequence. I loved how they not only showed that, but they showed flashes of the other people in their little battles. But I mean, overall, I gotta say that 10 minutes of that sequence, all of it from start to finish, kept me on edge. It's my favorite. I could rewatch that over and over, and I could still tear up and
man, that was insane.
Super shocked and heart palpitating. It was crazy.
And then, of course, we go back into the battle scene where Jon Snow, we think Jon Snow's about to die, and then Dany comes and rescues him. And, at that scene, though, when Dany comes down, all the dead is attacking the dragon. Like, it's just nonstop. Everyone's stabbing it, and
did you at any point think that dragon was not going to survive?
Did you think?
Did you think she was going to lose another dragon?
I thought it was enough puncture wounds, but these guys don't have the biggest knives but
it was a lot of them, though. I mean,
it was a lot
of them all over his body. Like, it was all over the place, and
a ton.
And I felt like, with everyone aggressively attacking, I mean, every little centimeter of him, it's just, I mean, obviously he's gonna get brutally damaged or brutally injured, and he takes off, and Dany ends up falling, and Dany's by herself until the very last scene we get is of Jorah.
Jorah.
Yeah, Jorah Mormont. And oh man,
the savior. He's her savior.
Yes, he does, and he is a savior. And it's funny because Emilia Clarke actually posted on Instagram of their last scene together, and that was pretty awesome. I love that so much. I mean, just. He was her savior
from season one. He's always been there by her side.
Yes.
She even forgave him after she found out his little secret.
Banished him twice.
Yeah.
Yes, and he came back. He all cured and everything for her. Redevoted to serving her, and I think that was a good way. I wouldn't want him to die any other way.
No, I mean, so he died protecting her. And to think of it, though, like, what I also loved, and the writers wanted it too, is that Emilia Clarke, she didn't go out as a
damsel in distress. So Emilia Clarke said that she didn't feel in that scene it was right for her to be completely defenseless.
And just be shocked at
if you look at Daenerys, she's not typical damsel in distress. She's completely hopeless. So
I would say she hasn't really been in that circumstance until when
well, she hasn't, because she's always had her dragons.
No, until that one scene, though, whenever when they're in the arena, I forgot who comes and attacks them. The
harpy.
The harpies, there you go. They come in, I guess, and at the same time, though, she didn't really pick up a sword in this scene. She picks up a sword, and she is defending Jorah. I mean, they're backing each other up.
She's got his back. She's got his back.
I love that.
They held her own.
Because finally, I was all like, okay, she needs to show us, like, she is not only a queen, but she is a warrior along with her soldiers.
But not only that, but she can defend herself besides her dragons.
Yeah.
Because those are her main weapons.
Yes, it is. Yeah, those are her main weapons. And obviously coming, her fighting back, I mean, that showed a lot. I mean, just protecting Jorah as much as she could. I mean, Jorah took a lot of hits, man. He was taking so many hits.
Him and Beric, man, they got tore up this episode.
Oh man, they took so many hits, and obviously Jorah does die. He dies in here, and there goes House Mormont.
Yeah, he does fall in battle.
Sadly.
My next, I would say Theon is my favorite character in this episode. Yeah. How do you feel about his demise? The whole sequence where
it was too
Bran.
It was too dumb. I feel like Theon Greyjoy, I feel like he should have gone out a different way, because I was just like, why is he going in like that? Like, I'm just like, you should have just like waited for him to come to you and then just try to battle him, one-on-one, instead of going in like full on, and he's just waiting for him. The Night King's just waiting for him to take his life away. And I'm just like, okay, I couldn't see that happening in real life, but I mean, obviously it did. So I don't know. I wish it would have been a more willful death. I would say that for Theon Greyjoy. Yeah,
I'm good with it. I think he already knew, like, this is it. I'm not gonna get a scratch on this guy.
Especially when Bran says, like, thank you. Like, it's kind of like the end.
He says
that means, like,
thank
you've done well.
You're a good man.
Yeah,
that's what he says, and that's awesome, because Theon. I think at that same point though, Theon does realize that Bran knew what this was gonna be his death. I felt like at that circumstance when they both faced each other, and when they're both looking at each other, when he finally says that at the very end, because it's like Theon Greyjoy throughout this episode, especially in the very beginning, he's all like, I'm waiting for Bran to tell me like I'm a good man, like for him to forgive me for this, and at the very end he ends up forgiving him but at the same time I think Theon Greyjoy knows why he's forgiving him, because it's his last scene. It's his last moment of truth.
And this is his redemption moment. He's been, for the last few seasons, still unhold, because he knows he went against his family that raised him pretty much most of his life.
Yes. Yes.
So this is his redemption story. It's complete now, and he's okay with going out that way.
Yeah, I mean, it just, like I said, I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but I'm not going to disagree on the writers or anything. I mean, it could have been a little bit better, but I mean, I loved it anyways. I love that scene.
I didn't have a problem. I feel like he died in a pretty heroic way. Like, he knew he was staring death in the face. He was not going to be able to defeat the Night King. So instead of just what Theon has done in the past, where he's running scared, from whatever... what's his face did to him, tortured him. He's not scared anymore. In hearing that he's a good man, I think it emboldens him to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna take charge, and I'm gonna go full. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. And he does. He tries to do his best to charge at him.
At that very last moment of truth though, when he's bleeding out, when he gets stabbed right here, I just feel like he's still breathing. So I'm just like, wait, is he gonna try to stab him? Is he gonna try to stab him on the toe or something? Try to hit him somehow? I
think he was.
I felt like he wanted to. I was like, but then he's just like, oh.
No, I think he
that would have worked too, just like right across his Achilles or something.
I know, man.
All it takes is a little bit of dragon glass. I think
it happened in Troy. I'm just saying.
I think he was trying to stay alive to see if Bran makes it. That's what my theory is.
Okay.
To see.
Actually, I take it back. You can kill the Night King just with any dragon glass wound.
Of course, yeah.
It has to be dragon glass, dagger, or Valyrian steel to the heart.
Obviously,
in the same place that
he was created.
Yes.
So we don't figure that out until the episode's already over, but it makes a lot of sense.
At the very end, guys, of course, everything, when all hope is lost, everyone's getting piled up. You see Jaime, you see every single character, like they're saving each other. I mean, it just the suspense is killing me, and at the very same time, you're screaming at the TV. You're just hoping that there's some light in this darkness. And then, of course, at the very end, guys, I mean, everyone's piling up on each other. They're all piling up on the living.
The last few moments, Jon is facing that dragon by himself.
Yes, he's
Brienne, Jaime, Padre, they're all up against the wall, being overrun. You have
Sam. Sam is laying on the ground, just like stabbing, just on the ground, just like screaming his life away.
He's also crying at one point.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I'll be crying too. I'll be crying like a baby killing people.
I'm sorry, Sam.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, he's going out with a bang though. Like that was like, dang. Like he's still stabbing, crying.
So every character has that moment where you think all hope is lost.
Yes.
You just think that.
Yes.
It's just complete tragedy.
And you see the Night King go and head straight into Bran, and out of nowhere just comes the fatal scene. And everyone's talking about this scene. Everyone's they're split, I guess you could say, because a lot of people are like, oh, the hype wasn't hyped enough. But no, I mean, it's all value of opinion here, and we're going to give our opinion on it. And so we do get the very last scene where Arya comes out of nowhere, but she does get caught on the neck, and at the same time, just like, is Arya gonna die? Like, I'm just like, is Arya gonna die trying to kill the Night King? Like, what is going on? And of course, Bran has no emotion whatsoever. What's going on? He's like, oh, he just has my sister. It's all good. Like, I'm just like, what? And at that same time, though, she just pulls the she just drops the dagger and gets it on her other hand and just stabs him right in the freaking heart.
Sweet spot.
Yes, sweet spot. And that was the plan all along.
Which is a move that we've seen her do many times before. So yeah, it's great to see it again.
And at her expertise too, because she is the assassin. And at the same time, just like, okay, well, how are they gonna make it? How are they gonna set him up? And they did set him up. They did set up the Night King, and they knew this from the game plan all along that it was gonna be Arya. And they do mention it, guys, on the writers. Everyone at the writers at this behind the scenes, they said they've known this for 3 years now. They've known that Arya is gonna be the one. Arya is gonna be the one to take out the Night King.
So how do you feel that it is Arya and not
Jon Snow,
a more central character like Jon Snow,
or Dany even? Like, how do you feel like it? Just, I mean, at his perspective point of view, at everyone's point of view, everyone witnessing this battle scene at the very end, it ends up being Arya. Did you suspect that?
No, not at all. Only because I felt like this entire franchise is really built a lot on prophecy.
Yeah.
So exactly. Much like Star Wars is all about the chosen one coming back and balancing the Force. I thought that the prophecy was always going to be fulfilled in some shape, way, or form.
I'm pretty sure we all thought it was going to be Jon Snow.
I mean, I thought it could be a number of people. I thought by chance it could be Jaime.
Really? Jaime?
I heard theories about Jaime.
I didn't think that,
Jaime. Well, he's called the what? What's his nickname?
Oh, the Kingslayer. Okay, all right.
So if that would happen, if that would happen, it would have fit.
Okay. No, I can agree with you there.
But I love Arya, so I'm not no issues with it whatsoever. She's one of my favorite characters, and if she does fit the prophecy of either Azor Ahai or the princess who is promised, we don't really know if she's supposed to fit one of those two molds, but I want to see how the show explains that.
Yes, I mean, so we do get that last scene where she does take out the Night King, and wow, like, it just, I mean, everything goes catastrophe, everything just falls. I love that because, like, they're just screaming their life away, and out of nowhere, just everything falls, and Jorah falls. His adrenaline rush is really kicking in until the zombies are gone. Once they fall, he falls with them.
The moment he's like, "We've won.
We won, exactly."
Now
I can fall, because obviously
the
adrenaline, I can feel my wounds now.
Well, not so much. I think he's like, my purpose is fulfilled. Yeah. Like he was supposed to protect Dany, and he has, and
he does, and of course Dany's crying there too. I mean, we just see so much history of seasons, of 7 seasons of build up from both of their relationship, because they've been from the get go. I mean, he's always served her from the get go. And just to see this relationship grow so many seasons, so many years in the making, Game of Thrones history years, and it's crazy. And he goes out with a bang. I mean, he goes out saving her with the huge momentum, and so at the very of course at the very end, you just everyone's just shocked, I guess you could say, at just like, it's over. Oh, it's over. Like
they're just in disbelief. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
And of course, and now let's go into, like, I guess the next episode, or what preview can we expect? I mean, so let's face the facts here. And
one thing before we go on to the next upcoming episode, how do you feel about Melisandre walking into the sunrise and taking off the necklace and fading away into dust?
I didn't like that. I thought she was gonna go out like a different way. I don't know. I just feel like she was gone out like trying to attack one of the generals or some sort, or trying to go out and battle, I would say.
But she's never been a battle person.
She's like Doctor Strange in Endgame.
Oh gosh, I don't know about that.
Spoiler alert! No. Spoiler alert! She's already seen how this all plays out.
I would say Bran is Doctor Strange.
Well, what I mean is, she's already seen how this plays out.
Yeah.
And she knows who's going to win the war.
Okay.
And so as long as that person wins the war, whatever she does doesn't matter anymore.
Over,
So she knows the Lord of Light has only kept her around 800 years, actually, is what I heard. 800 years.
Yeah.
And now her watch has ended.
Yeah. And so going into that, of course, we do, behind the scenes of it again, we do get Bran. I mean, so at the same time, I feel like Bran knew exactly what was going to go on.
So do you think Bran, revisiting the question, can he see the future?
I don't know yet. I mean, I think
I feel like he knew. I feel like he didn't want to say anything, though, because even Theon Greyjoy was all like, I think Theon Greyjoy asked him a question, and then he answered, because even Jaime, I mean, he gave a very vivid answer, like a very broad answer. Like it wasn't vague. It wasn't a straight answer. Like it wasn't yes or no. Like it was just, is there tomorrow? Like it just at the same time, just like maybe he doesn't want to give away too much because then it won't come to pass. It won't. Yeah. It'll change the future.
He might still be learning. He might still not know how to control the future visions that he has, or just see pieces or glimpses of them.
Yeah.
But based on the evidence we've seen so far, I don't know if he's actually figured it out, like how to control it 100%.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I think he's still learning. I feel like he's still learning. And he's going to learn a lot more.
Because he still was thrust into it, so he still hasn't learned the full knowledge of the previous Three-Eyed Raven.
Okay. All right. So we're going to what can we expect? So we're gonna go ahead and ask this question. And do you so far, guys? Obviously, season 8's not over yet. Do you feel that this is the best episode of this season so far?
Yes.
So far, can you say?
Yes.
Yeah, only 3 episodes in. The first 2 are just build up to this. So yeah, by far.
I'm gonna say yes, of course. We do get the battle scenes. I mean, just straight an hour and 22 minutes.
That's what they told us.
Yeah, that's what they told us. So an hour 22 minutes, just straight battle. I mean, wow. Like I agree.
The producers and writers were saying
and they said it though. They said it.
If it was just straight battle, we'd have battle fatigue, where we'd get very bored very quickly. So I liked how they pieced together and edited to where it was like different high intensity scenes where you're right in the middle of the battlefield, where it cuts to Arya in the quiet library, sneaking around, trying to avoid running into one of these White Walkers, and it shifts back into Bran and Theon.
Yeah,
I liked how
it kept mixing it up, because I didn't want, because it's almost like even the director, you can even go back to it, I feel like the direction they wanted was like, we're gonna keep going in and out of these sequences, focus on everybody, give everyone the same amount of screen time, because it's the main battle's not just in the main battle. You got the dragons, you got so much side battles that are happening at that moment, and that's the beauty of filming, and that's the beauty of the editing. It's just go into it and you just figure out, okay, this is exactly how it's gonna go. And they rewatched it probably nonstop. I mean, the directors, the writers, were just watching this episode and they're all like, okay, I think we got a great episode here, and let's leave it. And so now let's go into then what can we expect of episode 4? I mean, what's left of Dany's army? I mean, it's completely gone.
Based on what we saw in episode 3,
the Dothraki's gone.
You're not supposed to take away that there's anybody left besides our main characters.
No, I know, right?
But we do see there's still there's still others of pieces of the army is still around. It's got to be just a fraction of what was there before.
I mean, it's insane. She lost
a lot of the
She lost the most aggressive fleet that she had was the Unsullied. Like, they were the force to be reckoned with, and now they're like pretty much gone. Like, there's only like a few, I would say, probably survived, but her lead commander that was there, he died. Obviously, we see him later on.
I think it's just a few random survivors from the Dothraki army.
My next question, going back to the previous seasons, is all the Dothraki that's there, that's it, right? Or do they have some more still on the other side of the world where she left, I guess you could say, another fleet?
I mean, from what I remember, I think the horde that kidnapped her or took her to I can't remember what it's called.
No, but what I mean, like on the boats, like everything, like on the ships, did she bring everyone with her, or she left still Dothraki on the other side of the world?
She meant to take everyone with her.
I don't know. We haven't seen the women and the children anywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
so it's a good question where they're at.
Yeah. So I mean, that's another insight, I would say. But other than that, I mean, let's just assume that this is the last Dothraki. That sucks. I mean, that's your aggressive force. You lost
race just decimated.
Wiped off the planet.
And that's the one even even Jaime was like saying so much stuff about them, like the Dothraki, like they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And he fought against them, and fought alongside them. So I mean, and you know, just the Unsullied, like what is left of the Unsullied? I mean, it took a toll on everything. Knights of the Vale, are the Knights of the Vale still around? Like what? Like I mean,
I don't think one army got completely wiped out. I think there's a few survivors that we see from the Dothraki. I'm sure there's a few Unsullied. I'm sure a few little bits of the Vale.
But even when they were coming into the castle, though, it was like a little bit. It wasn't even the same amount of army as there was out that we saw the camera at the very beginning. I'm just like, how are they gonna fight? How are they gonna?
From what we can take away. Most of these armies, these various armies, probably perished.
My God. How is she gonna take the throne?
That's the question.
She still got 2 dragons.
Yeah, but army
but didn't Cersei buy or purchase?
Yeah, she purchased the Golden Army. Yes,
the Golden Company.
The Golden Company. There you go.
And now that Jon is Warden of the North, now that Arya is the savior of Westeros, and I think they can probably pull a lot more houses and a lot more support from the rest of Westeros. Nobody wants to follow Cersei to begin with, and now they have a reason to join the other cause.
But I mean, so Knights of the Vale, I mean the Seven Kingdoms, I mean, just it comes down to it though, like in reality, the logic of it, like Dany's army, the gruesome army that we saw in the very first episode of season 8, the way they came in.
7 seasons to amass this huge army,
and it's pretty much gone. Like it just, I mean, granted, we haven't seen episode 4, but it looks. We saw a preview of it, and it looks like they're just recuperating it. And I'm pretty sure Cersei's just like smiling and laughing, like it just like. She's obviously gonna find out that the Dothraki are gone, and Dany's,
she did. She said let them kill themselves off, and she said if they do survive, that it's there's no way they can stand a chance. She already knows. She's smart enough to know.
I'm so angry at that though. I'm just like, man, like all this is probably. It could be for nothing because the way Dany won the war. She won the life war. They all won the life war. But the throne war is yet to come, and the throne and everything. I know you mentioned it too, that we thought that the Night King, one of the Night King generals, going down south. Or we were just throwing out accusations there. But now to come to pass, and now after this Winterfell battle, it's just Cersei's just laughing it up along with the Greyjoy as well too. So Greyjoy, he's the last. I guess you could say he's the last man. That's Greyjoy, right? What's his name?
Grey Worm? You're talking about Unsullied?
No, I'm sorry. Greyjoy. Euron.
Oh, Euron. Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Well, is he?
No, because his Yara's still in
Pike.
No, but the last male heir descent.
I guess he is the last.
Yeah, because Theon was the last male.
So it's his uncle left.
For his
So his uncle left. Yeah.
Of the Greyjoy line. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So it's his uncle left. Obviously, we haven't got Theon Greyjoy's sister. She's still trying to, or she was en route to claim her kingdom back.
Yeah, she was going back home. I don't know if we're gonna see her again. We'll see what happens.
I hope we do.
I think we are.
I hope we at least figure out or find out what happened to her. I would not be cool with just never hearing about her character ever again.
She was gonna obviously she has to come back because she went to go claim that kingdom, so that way just in case they lost, they have somewhere to retreat on the water. Yeah. And that was the plan. And, it just, man.
But what do you think now that in the next episode, the dust is going to be settled and they're going to figure out kind of how to piece together? What do you think their next move is going to be?
Man, it's just...
The North.
I don't know because this show is playing the story very straightforward. Yeah. And so what I was saying last time when we talked about this episode coming up is that I didn't want the Night King or the Whites to be gone. I didn't want Cersei to be the last conflict. I want to see the Great War was supposed to be like the end game. Yeah. Now that the Great War is over, I'm like, I don't know what I have to look forward to. Yeah. They're gonna try and figure out a way to like really entertain us and make this last 3 episodes really, really good, which I'm totally fine with.
I can't believe there's only 3 episodes left.
But I wanted the Great War to sort of be the finale of this series.
To be everyone in on it. Yeah, I completely understand there, but
I can understand that.
But I mean, it's just
I got no expectations for this. That was all my expectations. You met it. You're good. Just whatever you want to do from now on is just fine with me. Whatever.
Now, I mean, obviously everyone has to fight. Jamie has to fight against his sister, against the love of his life. He has to fight.
I don't know if he's the love of her life anymore. He probably still
has
love
anymore.
For her.
No, not anymore. But it was the love of his life.
I kind of picked up on some Brienne feelings.
See, and when they were saving each other, obviously, when they were saving each other, I mean, that was pretty awesome.
At the very least, they respect each other so much.
No doubt.
No, it's definitely more than that.
From before, even before then, like,
at the very least.
Yeah.
It started with respect. To whatever it is now, it's very curious.
It started off ever since Jamie saved her. I will say that. And
it started off when they were taking a bath together.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But of course Tormund's all like, I'm pretty sure he's jealous. He's
poor
jealous. Guy. So I mean, just what can we expect from episode 4? I mean, just resupply. I mean, refigure out a game plan. Now they have to take over the throne. I mean, they're just so brutally. They're so wounded right now. I mean, can they go to war already again? I mean, just...
knowing that they're so wounded, from this perspective at the end of episode 3, I know our theories some of them didn't pan out, some did.
Yeah.
What is your theory now, watching this episode, of what's going to happen in the end?
I don't. I think they're playing it very safe. And the show's just going very one note straightforward. We were supposed to... I was hoping for a few twists, like really big twists. Like,
I think they're saving them.
Yeah, I have to agree. Maybe they're saving them for the next chapter, which is for the throne war.
There's just not a lot of questions left. Like if you kill the Night King, and we're just meant to believe.
It's just one question: who's going to claim the throne? That's it. It's over.
That might be it. So I don't know.
Who do you think now is going to claim the throne?
I always thought that it would have been Tyrion, but I also thought that. Yeah. There was no happy ending for Jon or Dany. That there was going to be something that would have prevented them, like the Night King, to take the throne. Yeah. So I think somebody like Tyrion would have just kind of fell in line, and then him and Sansa would have had some sort of mutual respect or agreement, which they've kind of really been hitting us with for the last couple of episodes. So I'm not totally opposed to them sitting on the throne. I think it still might happen. Yeah. But I don't know what's going to stop Jon or Dany now that the Night King's out of the way.
And then right now we could just anticipate though is that now Dany and Jon, they can actually realize that, because they didn't really let it sink in because the battle came that Jon Snow's really the heir to the Iron Throne. And now they're actually going to sink in. Are they going to figure out? Are they going to come down to a solution?
There's definitely going to be a power struggle.
There's going to be conflict.
There's going to be a power struggle. I think so. In the end, though, why can
they make it work? They both rule.
I'm still rooting for a Dany-Jon combo of ruling the kingdoms together. Yeah. Because Sansa even said, "What happens to the North? Yeah. We don't want to bow down to, especially a foreign ruler." No one really was receptive to Dany. No. I think if it was a Jon-Dany combo, the North would kind of be more receptive to that, and be kind of more accepting.
Yeah, agreed there.
It seems too easy though.
Yeah. It does seem. Well, we'll find out.
I feel like it could end up that way. There will be some major twists along the way, but I feel like I'm rooting for an ending like that where they end up together.
Agreed.
I hope so. Yeah. I think Arya was a twist. That was a twist. Nobody was supposed to see coming. Yeah. They might have one more twist, but I was hoping it would involve Bran. And now I don't know if there's any more questions left about Bran.
Well, I mean,
there's definitely a few questions lingering about what is his place now. Is he just going to fade into I'm the three-eyed raven, I'm going to go do my own thing? Or if he has still more of like a purpose towards
very curious.
I think he's going to stay at Winterfell. I think he's going to stay right by that tree. I think he's going to become the three-eyed raven and stay in Winterfell, though. I don't think he's going to go, obviously, over the wall, what's left of the wall. I don't think he's going to go anywhere up there. I think he's going to stay in Winterfell.
I don't think he would have any more purpose north of the wall. Yeah. But he could serve some purpose south when the people travel, when the rest of the north travels down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So obviously there's gonna be so much recuperating. Obviously, guys, if you haven't already, I mean, just hold on to those tissues because we got probably more twists coming out, and we got more crying, more emotional states. So you can't wait for episode 4, guys. It's gonna be this Sunday. I mean, it just. we don't know what to expect. I mean, to be honest, and we mentioned so many great things, so many great aspects of the episode 3, and of course the major deaths that happened. I mean, I guess you could say, what did you say? I
said it was a very safe episode. Again, they're playing this final season very safe. They killed only B team guys.
There you go. Yeah.
All of the varsity made it. All of the varsity team made it just fine.
But they're gonna die for the throne.
Maybe Jorah is all right, but guys like Sam, I think, is gonna make it to the end. Yeah. I think the Hound has to make it at least until he fights.
I think his brother. I think he's gonna die. I think
everyone's rooting for that showdown.
I think I'm rooting for it.
So those are the only 2 guys that I was for sure were gonna make it out of this episode. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Alrighty, guys. As always, I'm your host Ryan D. Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady Ange.
And I'm Steady with the countdown to the Geekcast.
All right, guys, you know what to do. Give us a thumbs up. Be like a review, guys, of Game of Thrones Season 8, Episode 3, guys. All right, be sure to look us up on our next episode, guys, Episode 4, and hopefully it's gruesome, and hopefully let's just figure out what to do after this. Hopefully the light comes out. Obviously the light has to come out now, right?
We'll see what happens. I don't know.
All right, guys, thank you for making us a part of your day.